say 20 minutes. So that's good. It's lovely to be here in this meeting. I really love this meeting, and I only get to come to it when I don't have my kids. So it's really nice to be here with everyone on such a nice day. I landed back from Australia this morning, so I feel a bit weird right now, but I'm good, and I'm very happy to be here and to be clean. Actually, I spent a lot of time in the last 24 hours in airport lounges where they just had, unlimited amounts of booze and everyone was drinking, and I found it okay. I found it really, thankfully, my mind didn't wander too much. I looked at some alcohol and just kept on walking and had a ginger beer, so I was all good. But that was a very different story. Like 3 years ago, I would have been drinking as much as I could to pass the time. So it's nice to not feel hungover, just be dealing with jet lag, which is good. But I'm sharing on step 2, which we all know is we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And for me, I've had relapse is a big part of my story. Relapsing on alcohol, which wasn't my drug of choice before, but because when I came out of rehab, I had to do drug tests to see my kids, and the only thing that the drug test didn't pick up was alcohol. So after a few months, I can't really remember, I think it was after about 3 months, I started to drink again. None of it was only a few times excessively, but I was lying to myself and to people, every time in meetings, and to my sponsor, and that happened twice. So I'm on my 3rd run of doing the steps, and each time I've learned, I don't know if each time I've learned a lot, but this time I've definitely learned a lot. And so now I've got 9 months and 2 days, thank you. And I say in my gratitude list every day of being clean and being honest, because it's the first time where I've actually been 100% honest with everyone about everything, pretty much, I suppose. So that in itself is freeing, and for the connection with a higher power, and for me I say God, but I haven't always, but to have that honesty with my faith and in prayer and stuff is, I think, why it works so much at the moment, and why that's keeping me on this road of honesty and not leaning into my recovery when life shows up, or when I get stressed out. I can very easily pray and pick up the phone and do everything that we're sort of told to do, all the suggestions, and it helps me to reset really, and to start again and feel that courage and strength, which is something I pray for every day or multiple times a day, to have courage and strength and hope. And I find that it's really working. So as before the relapses, I think I was trying to do this kind of stuff. I didn't pray as much, but I did definitely sort of meditate on things, but I didn't have that that real true willingness to do it. Whereas this time around, I'm really, I think for a lot of factors, it was either I'd get this right and I'll be able to start my life off again and be able to see my kids all the time, and be honest with myself, which I used to have no problem about lying, and my conscience was pretty much clear, because I just wouldn't think about it. I could very easily do something, not tell everyone about it, and I wouldn't feel like I was lying. If I don't think about myself, I wasn't lying. So now it's kind of like a new thing really, to be honest like this for me. So I am really enjoying it, and I'm excited about the future of recovery. So step 2, I remember I went to rehab in Cape Town in South Africa, not because I was always wanted to go there. I mean, I had been there before, but because it was cheaper than the alternative in London. It was like double the amount to do it in London, or with this one place I was suggested. So I found a much cheaper option in South Africa, and I went pretty much straight away as soon as the shit hit the fan, which was my wife finding cocaine on me for the 20th time under the rug in the living room whilst I was playing with the kids in the kitchen. She was hoovering, so it was really like the straw that broke the camel's back. And 5 days later I was on a plane going to Cape Town, and yeah, that was definitely my rock bottom. I confessed to my business partner, who helped me talk to my therapist at the time, my addiction therapist, who I was lying to for over a year. I told him everything about my relationship with my ex-wife all the time. It was more like a relationship counsellor, but I just lied about, I just didn't tell him about the cocaine, so I didn't think I was lying. And then I had to do a drug test, and I was lying to myself about the results of the drug test. I bought the drug test and did a urine test, and then tried to convince my ex that the positive line was actually negative. and then I did a hair sample test, and so I went to this pharmacy and they cut off my arm hair. And then I went back to work, and my business partner was like, "Are you okay?" And I must have just looked awful. I was so nervous. Well, not even nervous. It was just like this awful dread feeling. And I said to him, he said, "Do you want to have a chat?" And I was like, no, it's fine, I'm okay. And then about 5 minutes later, I was like, "Can we have a chat?" And we went outside, and I burst into tears. I told him everything, and he stood with me as I called my therapist first for some reason, then my dad, and then my ex. And then I went home, and anyway, so then I looked into Cape Town, went to Cape Town, and I was really on my knees there, and I was at the front of all the classes, like really wanting to get clean and get my head around the 12 steps, and it was intense, but I think it was good that my ex, our relationship was already on the rocks for years before, but when I was there, she couldn't forgive me, and she still hasn't forgiven me, and I don't expect her to, but when I was there, she basically cut me off from the kids, talking to the kids, and that gave me time to really focus on my recovery, because every time I talked to her, she just wanted me to apologise, and the counsellor in the end was like, "Look, she's not helping, so I think it's best if we don't talk to her anyway," even though she didn't want to talk to me. So so I really got into a recovery there, and they always talked about, the higher power, and I had trouble talking about God because I thought I was an atheist for years, and believed really in my self-will rather than handing your will over. And so I had, my higher power was the cosmos and space, and I used to close my eyes and imagine space and the expanse of space, and that was like the power of creation. And for me, for the first 6 months or something, I think that was my higher power. And then gradually, as I've gone through recovery, being back, I've taken suggestion, and my sponsor is quite a devout Christian. So he suggested me coming to this other fellowship that was a bridge between recovery and church, and went there, and I found it really, really soothing to do worship, singing, and be part of the team there. And I just kind of put one foot in front of the other and just kept going. And then I asked if I could get baptized. And since getting baptized, my connection with my higher powers really got a lot stronger. And I reckon I'm like a cafeteria Christian. I don't do everything that they suggest, but I pick and choose the bits that I want to do. So I pray in the morning and I pray in the evening, but I just find it easier to say God and have that rather than as before the cosmos, like it says in step 2 about how you have to find a caring and loving higher power, and I don't know how I could do that with the cosmos in my head, but God I find easier. And I have a crucifix, I hold it when I pray, and it gives me a bit more kind of power, I suppose, to focus on. So I'm quite happy saying God, but I'm probably not the best Christian, because, Adam and Eve, I've got some, I'm not sure about that, and I think it's more kind of theoretical, but apparently you have to believe in everything in the Bible if you want to be a proper Christian. So anyway, I'm happy where I'm at with it and saying God like that. But it took a while to get to that place, and I think I'm thankful for the relapses I had and what I've learned through that. And at first I was like, but alcohol's not my problem. Cocaine was my problem. But the way I was drinking alcohol was completely in secret. The same thing, one is too many, 1,000 never enough. I was constantly it was just beer, or then it became vodka at times. And yeah, it wasn't right at all. I was drinking in, not like the social drinker that you kind of imagine you're going to be. And it actually the last relapse was pretty horrendous, and I went to one of my old best friend, who was the best man at my wedding. I went to his wedding, and I wasn't invited to the church service, which I was really hurt about, and really hurt about, and kind of made a big deal in my head about it. And looking back, it wasn't right at all, because I hadn't spoken to him. We had spoken off and on, but like our relationship was so different to how it used to be. And that was because of drugs and me pushing everyone away. And then even since stopping, like it wasn't like I went straight back into this friendship circle. So it was very selfish of me to feel like that. And then I kind of like went in with a sort of kamikaze mindset that everyone at this wedding would be thinking, oh, is he off drugs? Is he like sober or whatever? In their mind, the word they'd use. And so instead I drank vodka whilst getting ready. I bought miniatures, which I've never done before, and I had like 4 vodka miniatures in my pockets. I think I bought more as well before I even got there, and then I got thrown out of the wedding. And my ex found out, and she would be the worst person to find out, but I think it was the florist maybe was friends with someone that she was friends with. Anyway, and so I just confessed. Well, I didn't confess everything. I got caught by her. She asked me, and the only way out of it was to confess to my sponsor, all my fellows, and yeah, thankfully, someone here tonight was the one who really helped me at that time, saying, you know, I was really upset that I had to admit all of this, and I felt terrible, but what he said was that you've got the experience of that time, of your, whatever it was, nearly almost 2 years I would have had if I had stayed, no, it would have been 2.5 years if I had stayed clean since leaving rehab. But I had that experience of recovery behind me, and so I still lean on that, but like looking back at myself through, you know, myself 2 years ago and doing recovery was very different to the past 9 months, but it's definitely part of my journey, and I have learned a lot throughout. So yeah, today I'm very happy with saying God. I'm very happy with all of like the tools I have really for recovery. God isn't necessarily the strongest one. I think the meetings are the best thing for me, and the suggestions. So the gratitude list in the morning, connecting with my sponsor, which I probably don't do enough, but I do a lot on text, but calls I don't, but I'm thankful I'm going to be spending some time with him tomorrow. And yeah, just trying to stay connected and taking everything just for today. Like it would be nothing without that saying of just for today, because every day I get to hand it over and kind of reset, and I've been getting divorced the whole time that I've been in recovery, and they go hand in hand together. So I'm leaning on my recovery all the time when I'm dealing with things with my ex. So I'm very thankful to be a member of NA today, and yeah, I'm very thankful to be here and to have this share with you guys. But that's all I got.